Alright, so this is the first weekly update, hopefully weekly update for the cool custom creations that people are building out of LEGO throughout the week. Everything you see today will have a link in the description below so you can check out the builders, usually Flickr accounts. That's where a lot of these LEGO builds are posted, the sort of official, unofficial site used for LEGO enthusiasts. And I really do hope you do check out some of the links in the description below, because this weekly update is really just kind of the tip of the iceberg for what actually came out, some of the really awesome stuff that came out this week. And it generally is like this every week. I mean, there is so much stuff happening in the custom building world, so much more than anything that could actually be produced by LEGO Company. And anyways, I think I've talked about this enough. This is just a really cool highlight reel. I mean, I'm just constantly looking at these forums all the time. And what's so great is that you are always surprised, shocked, or impressed by what people can create from this medium. And without further ado, here is the first build. It's called Gamma Dragon by Mitch. And in the description from the Flickr account, the dragon flies high into the sky to absorb gamma rays, usually shielded by the atmosphere. These rays allow for the tremendous power and give it a glowing appearance. So there's those really nice transparent light blue, maybe transparent azure blue. I'm not sure what the official color names for a lot of these parts are, but just wow, look at the build for this guy. It knocks the socks off of anything that has ever come from a LEGO designed dragon. And I think the face really gives this a lot of personality, that gigantic, evil, grinning, toothed smile, as well as those glowing red eyes that poke out from underneath. I mean, there's just a ton to like here. The toothed back that is very even and goes all the way down the tail. And I'm not exactly sure what blue sail pieces were used for the wings, but they match very, very nicely. Alright, so this next build is just simply called Seafood Restaurant by Anton Budiono. And this is one of those structures that you feel uncomfortable putting into your LEGO city because it will make everything else look bad around it. I mean, there's so much excellent detail all over this structure. This is, of course, built and inspired from the sort of traditional Chinese style creation of old buildings, and it feels just like every corner, every nook and cranny of this piece was handcrafted. Well, I mean, in LEGO it was built by hand, but back in the day when these were being constructed, it was all handcrafted as well. Aside from its ornateness and its accuracy, there's also some really good fun details to notice, like the big lobster build that is on one of the corners. It's a great LEGO built animal just in general, and it fits in really well with the structure of the building. And on the other side, we've got a really big octopus. There's a beautiful place for people to walk down by the riverside. And actually, this whole Chinese restaurant is actually part of two different builds. The other one is a Chinese temple called Pho Temple, and here you can see another small shrine that is out by the water's edge. And just once again, tons of awesome detailing here. Both of these builds are incredible. But let's move on to something. This is actually called Starship by Oran Cruzen. Pretty sure that is a reference to Benny from the LEGO movie. And here's just the one picture. It is a digital rendering. And there's just a nice, great sort of classic spaceship feel to this particular build. The mostly flat top with the kind of rounded edges really reminds me of the Starship Enterprise, but it only kind of gives the notion of that feel. The ship is really kind of something in and of itself, and this is actually sort of a new interpretation on what was an old LDD file. If you followed the description in the link for this ship, you can see a much more flying saucer-esque version of a similar kind of build. Now we've made our way into some of the military LEGO. There's a ton of this stuff getting built. And based on all of the other hyper-accurate military vehicles of this builder, I'm pretty sure this is the real name, Amfibiepansarbandvagn 601. Pretty sure that's how you say it, and it's done by Mathew McCall. At the end of the day, I think it is commendable that LEGO Company doesn't make realistic military vehicles, but you know what, if they did, they probably wouldn't be as good as the ones like this one that we're looking at here. There's just a lot of little great shapes on this vehicle, even though it somewhat looks like it could be simple. The triangular pieces on the sides make a nice riveting action, and there's a lot of sort of varied plates that stick out here and there, and something tells me this is a digital rendering because probably a lot of the parts we're looking at in this olive green don't actually exist in real LEGO. And now moving away from this Amfibiepansarbandvagn thing, we also get the Amphisbaena by Joeri. Wow, if you say that name fast, it almost sounds like Joeri. Anyways, this is a great dragon build. It's two-headed, as you can see, and that's pretty much the whole thing. It's almost like cat dog if it was a dragon. But I think with the sort of minimal pieces and the simplicity of the pieces used, we get a lot of great detail for this kind of ridiculous but oddly creepy-looking creature. According to the builder, it was actually done sort of last minute for a dragon building contest, but kudos, because this is great looking. Now, usually a good build has some sort of great aesthetic design or achieves an awesome technical feat. Now, this one here I think has a bit of both. It's called Strainwave Gearing GBC Module, GBC being an acronym for Great Ball Contraption by Akiyuki, I believe. Now, I highly recommend that you check out the link for this one because not only are there some great pictures here and a detailed description of what the set is, but also an awesome video that shows the undulating movements of this build. It's really, really cool looking and kind of mesmerizing to watch. So I'm actually not gonna show it, and you're just gonna have to check the link out if you wanna see how cool it looks. All right, moving on. And this next build here is kind of a vignette. It's just an interior detective's workshop. That is the name of the build, and it is by Kristof. Probably one of the best sections of an interior build I've ever seen in LEGO. Right off the bat, I'm gonna say this is the first time I've seen those printed pieces from the Batman 1960s Batcave wallpaper pieces used again. They are working out here in spectacular fashion, but really that is just nothing compared to so much more stuff going on. There's a great build for the chair, also an interesting setup for the stool by the work desk in the back, wonderful little Nexonite chest pieces as sort of plaques up on the wall, and that is an inverted torso piece with no arms and a bunch of stuff kind of sticking out. I like the use of the rubber band pieces. I mean, there is just so much happening here. It's awesome. And check out what's even on the outside of the vignette. Usually these are relatively barren areas, but if somebody can find a better use for that Groot headpiece, then I will eat my hat. Honestly, just one of the best interior builds I've ever seen from LEGO. Ever. But let's shake things up and go to an exterior. This is a pretty large building, not insanely huge, but a relatively tall building. This is the micro scale replica of Fountain Place in downtown Dallas, and the builder is Rocco. Not an easy feat getting such nice smooth pieces to show up in the angles that they are showing up in this build. And structures with all glass on the exterior are always supposed to look nice and shiny and clean. And I love that these nice transparent blue bricks really do capture a nice great shine on the outside as well. All right, and this next build makes me really excited because not only is it super awesome, but this is just one of several great motorcycle builds by Andre Pinto. I hadn't checked his Flickr for several months, and I didn't realize he was doing so much cool motorcycle stuff. I'm a sucker for motorcycles, and this latest one, the Harley Davidson police bike, or he calls it the ELECTRA Glide Law Enforcement. I don't know if that's the official name for the bike. Anyways, so great. There's a lot of custom parts put in there, a lot of custom chrome pieces used, as well as some custom prints, I'm sure. I don't think that Yonkers piece showed up anywhere else. But I mean, I don't think I've actually seen such a good LEGO built bike. Usually you see these bikes built out of mostly Technic pieces, but here pretty much all of the external detailing is done with just LEGO bricks. And this really is just sort of a culmination of skills based on a bunch of other previous bike builds. I suggest you check them out. I mean, I'm just kind of drooling on them myself. But it's time to switch gears now, and this is definitely going to be a change up. This is Olivias Army. Now, on a personal note, I never really get the Friends sets, but I love it when I see creators making something kind of unique and fun with the parts that come from these sets. And here we've got our cute little critters, and each one of them has their own little robot. Doesn't look like all of them are necessarily designed for combat, but they each have their own unique little style. And it's definitely an added bonus to seeing them in this little simplified workshop. And alright, I guess that is it for this weekly custom creation segment. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to tune in same time next week if you want to see more, and if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe. So thanks again for watching. This is BrickVault, and we'll see you next time.